Some of the most talented people I know leave corporate life and start a business, and then get completely and then completely struggle to find clients, and it messes with their head. I can't talk today. They start wondering if they were ever actually good at what they did, but the truth is, they're not bad at business. They're just missing one piece. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Donnie Bovine, CEO and founder of Success Champions Networking and the Badass Business Summit. And today we're going to talk about the one thing that you're missing that's going to completely change how you network. Please do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps me continue to grow the channel and reach more and more people. So here's what I know. And recently I've gotten into a lot of conversations with people that have done just some amazing things in their careers. A gentleman I talked to not long ago literally took a company from 100 million to 400 million. Another gentleman I know handled a multi-million dollar mergers and acquisitions from huge companies. The guys have run entire sales divisions, were vice president or higher levels in Fortune 500 companies, and they were tacticians at whatever their field or what their business did. And, they were just absolutely skilled. What they didn't get during that time are two major things. One, they didn't get an outside of that corporate environment. So they usually stayed within their lanes. And so they have a network. It's just often the wrong network or what they need to be building this business. The second thing that they didn't get is they were never really in a sales position or sales role, or even if they were in a sales role, they're so far removed it from it that literally they are struggling to figure out how to go sell somebody else's service, business, or the like to selling themselves, and they are struggling immensely. So I want to talk through, what most people are out there doing is chasing clients versus, actually getting networking that will bring business to them, will help them grow their business and get it where they need to go. They're struggling because for most people, networking is a social club and it doesn't actually give them ROI. So when they start getting in the networking game, it doesn't work for them like they need to. So they end up finding themselves going, okay, I must try to go old school sales. And they start cold pitching. They start running ads. They're going to events trying to pitch people. And the struggle most people find when it's in networking is the people that you're actually going to sell to, they're not in the rooms. They're not at the events. They don't know how to write cold pitch emails. They don't know how to get people coming in. So they spend most of their time chasing and not getting anywhere with all this activity. Um, and let's be honest, cold, prospecting, it's the fastest way to get clients, period. End of story. But the problem is it's also the most difficult to be successful with. So, now they're stuck with, I need to go find clients. I'm doubting whether I'm actually good at what I do because I'm not finding people to say yes to me. And so now they're like, okay, I'm going to default and try and figure out, should I, do networking? How do I actually make it work? What's the functionality behind it that's going to make, this work for him? So here's the whole thought process. You need to understand that if you're selling business to business services and you're selling into mid market or higher companies, which is companies doing over $1 million a year, right? Your ideal clientele are never going to be out networking. So what you need to understand is you need to quit going to places, events, even on LinkedIn, and realize that the people you need to say yes to you, they're not they're not active on LinkedIn. They're not proactive at networking events and the like. And think about it. Back when you held a title for a company and you had a career for a company, how often did you check your LinkedIn? Right. And I'm willing to bet most of you didn't even think about LinkedIn back when you were working for other companies. So now, not only is a cold outreach even harder to make happen, there's this whole thought process of, how the heck do I go from somebody who doesn't know me to somebody saying yes? There is an easier way. And it's learning how to actually network the right way. What I want you to think about is building out a vendor ecosystem. Hear me out on this, because if you really wrap your head around this, it works phenomenal. A lot of you probably have one client, okay? You have one particular client that you're working with, and you're thinking, God, I just got to get a ton more clients. Have you ever looked at the client you're currently working with and asked one simple question? What other vendors do they use? And it's an amazing, powerful question, because what you're going to find is every business works with multiple vendors doing different things for them. Even for my company, we use several different vendors for different things. And the reason I want you to ask your client what vendors they currently use is because this is where you actually can go to start looking for some phenomenal referrals. Here's what I figured out. When I went to Mary Kay Corporate, which was my largest account when I sold commercial printing, uh, uh, I have no idea. um, when I went to Mary Kay Corporate, and freaking, I don't know what Rainbow 67 and a Strawberry Elephant is, man. But if I did, I'd maybe give it a trade. I don't know, but what I've found when I talked to, the main print buyer inside of Mary Kay, and I asked him what other freaking, uh, vendors they used, once I got introduced to them, there was this mutual respect that happened. And we both kind of looked at it is we both are selling at this level into a company of this size. We can probably refer each other back and forth and find some actual business. So what I, started doing was getting introduced to every vendor that, my client worked with. And the interesting thing is, not only was I building relationships with their vendors and working toward getting referrals, it also gave me a list of other people that I should be selling to, that, should be networking with, that also have my client base. And so a really, really fascinating thing started happening is I was getting introduced to all these vendors that my client worked with, and realized that not only had I not met them, but they hadn't met each other. So I literally, hey Chuck, I literally started, taking all their vendor lists and connecting those vendors together. And what I found is, in connecting the vendors together, a lot of business started happening for everybody, because we were all focused on the exact same client, or we had this mutual trust of the clients we were working with. And as my relationship grew with these vendors, and their industries, they started introducing me to co-partners they had, other people they were working with. And before long, I had this vendor ecosystem, a group of people that were all focused on the same exact IPC, right? Ideal client profile, ICP, excuse me, right? And we could all come together to go focus. And in some cases, we went after clients together. It was really, really, really cool thing. And I became kind of the linchpin of bringing all those people together, because when somebody, said, "Hey, I'm looking to meet somebody else in the vendor world," I knew all the right people and could connect the dots. And the fascinating thing behind it is, as I connected people and put them together and introduced them in, what I found is more things started coming back to me. Not only was I starting to get introductions, but because I was putting so much in the marketplace and making so many introductions, I was increasing my level of trust with all of these referral partners. And my name started getting brought up when their clients were looking for my services, whether it was when I sold commercial printing, or when it was, when I sold sales training. So, um, what happened is as I continued to introduce people, my credibility in the marketplace went up. My trust factor went up. My name continued to be brought up, and more opportunities kept being brought to me that allowed me to do some really, really cool things. So I, continued to make the introductions, and literally I owned the network of people around me that could, you know, really helped me find and get into all of these different companies. So, first question you got to ask, if you have at least one client, ask them, what other services do they buy? Right? What other vendors do they use? Then simply ask, could you be introduced to those vendors? Could you be introduced to those people? And tell them it's strictly you looking for referral partners, not somebody to sell to. Once you're introduced to those people, make a list of all those industries that the vendors they use are in, and now start networking to meet other vendors in those same industries. Then start connecting people together and get them. So, if you sell, I don't know, if you sell maybe fractional operation, let's do a good different route. Maybe you sell, live streaming. If you sell live streaming, ask your client vendors, who else do they use? And like in my case, I use Go High Level. We use credit card processing. Yeah, there's a lot of different things we use. We use Circle. We use different things. And so now, if I can introduce the person who handles my live streams to the Go High Level person, there's a chance that there's a lot of opportunities there. Now, not to sell each other, right? But to get them connected, and hopefully they realize, hey, we both have a very similar client base. Maybe we can figure this out. And one thing leads to another, and they start doing business together. And now if the live stream guy gets, figures out maybe Go High Level is a place that he needs to spend some more time, now his networking becomes, I need to meet more people who do Go High Level. Maybe they're a consultant for it. We do events, so we work with event planners. So maybe event planners is another angle in there, right? So you're just trying to map out this ecosystem so why, where, and who you need to be introduced to, so you can introduce and connect those people together. It works like a charm once you actually get it dialed in. And the key here is everything's got to be focused on a singular ICP. You're going after the very same exact clientele. So the conversations dynamically shift and change. So likely you're an expert at what you do. You're damn good at it, have a lot of talent and skill. You're just not getting into enough of the right conversations. Stop chasing clients and start building out this vendor ecosystem so that you can actually move everything forward. And I promise you, if you're the person that connects the dots to all the right people, business will come to you. Guys, I love doing these lives. Please make sure you are liked and subscribed. If I can ever help you out in any way, let me know. Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.